Hi folks, thanks for stopping by. Welcome to episode 5 of I Like Big Boats and I Cannot Lie, a weekly experience where I discuss my favorite thing, submarines. I hope your week has been splendid. There's a brand new week ahead, full of challenge and opportunity, and we're going to face all of those together, okay? Let's take a moment to relax, take some settling breaths, and focus on releasing all the tense, overworked muscles all over our bodies. The week is full of boat content to review, so let's dive right in. This week runs from October 13th to October 19th. It's getting cooler now and rainier. This is my favorite time of year, when all the heat gets washed away. I'm a total fall and winter person. The sun and I do not get along. I like Halloween, fall goods, pumpkin pie, and all of that stuff. But this video isn't about me. It's about submarines. We start off with the USS Thornback, SS-418, a diesel-electric Tench-class submarine named for a member of the shark family native to northern Atlantic waters from the temperate to the Arctic. Thornback was commissioned on the 13th of October, 1944. At the time of her commissioning, Commander Ernest P. Abrahamson was in command. Next, in 1969, the keel was laid for the USS Silversides, SSN 679. Silversides was a Sturgeon-class attack sub, second of her name, built by the Electric Boat Division of General Dynamics Corporation in Groton, Connecticut. Sturgeon class, also known colloquially as the 637 class, were in service from the 1960s all the way up until 2004. They were the workhorses of the attack sub-fleet throughout the Cold War. Sturgeon boats were designed as lengthened, improved variants of the Permits class, its predecessor. The short-hull boats were 292 feet, the long-hull were 302. Of course, this boat class was redesigned and built to sub-safe specifications for improved safety. Let's touch very briefly on SubSafe. It stands for Submarine Safety. It's a quality assurance program to maintain maximum reasonable assurance that submarine hulls will stay watertight and that a ship can recover from flooding. It only covers flooding and recovery safety. All systems exposed to sea pressure or critical to flooding recovery are considered subsafe. These systems are controlled, certified, and backed by specific objective quality evidence. All boats in the fleet are now subsafe. The only loss of subs since subsafe's inception has been the USS Scorpion, which was not a subsafe upgraded boat. But that's a story for another time. The next boat on the list is USS Chicago, SSN 721, a Los Angeles or 688 class, launched on the 13th in 1984. Her motto was, "We will." I really like that one. Simple but driven. You'll notice I say was. Chicago has been decommissioned quite recently, 21 July 2023, during a ceremony in Keyport, Washington. Keyport is famous for its naval undersea base. I assume at some point soon, Chicago will end up being recycled at Puget Sound Naval Shipyard in Bremerton. On the 14th of October, 1944, the USS Legardo, SS-371, was commissioned by Manitowoc Shipbuilding Company of Manitowoc, Wisconsin, with Commander Frank D. Latta in command. Sadly, Legardo did not survive long in the midst of the war. She was announced overdue and presumed lost August 10th, 1945. Post-war examination of Japanese records determined the mine layer Hatsutaka attacked a submerged submarine on the 3rd of May, most likely Legardo. In May of 2005, deep-sea divers, led by wreck diver Jamie McLeod, discovered Lagardo in 230 feet of water off the Gulf of Thailand. It was later confirmed by naval archaeologists that this wreck was indeed Lagardo. She remains on eternal patrol. On the 14th of October in 1966, the USS Sunfish, SSN 649, was launched by General Dynamics Quincy Shipbuilding Division in Quincy, Massachusetts. She was one of only 2 nuclear subs built by the former Fore River shipyard. They have the best motto, by the way. Quincy built. The best thing you can say about the ship. I think that's really clever. Sunfish's sponsor was Mrs. Emma Ora Bird, wife of the West Virginia Democratic Senator Robert C. Byrd. In 1982, the keel was laid for USS Providence, SSN 719, by General Dynamics Electric Boat. She was the first Los Angeles sub to be equipped with the Vertical Launch System VLS for the Tomahawk missile. Their motto was Providentia Remedium Belli. Providence for war is the best prevention for it. Again, absolutely fantastic motto. Last for this day is the Virginia-class USS Hyman G. Rickover, SSN 795, the second boat named for the father of the nuclear navy. Rickover was commissioned just last year by Electric Boat in Groton, where she's homeported. Her motto is Committed to Excellence, which is very fitting for a boat named after Father Rickover. There isn't much information on her since she's so new, but that's very exciting to me. There's an entire world of possibilities ahead of her. Isn't that wonderful? We're going to see her evolve in real time. On the 15th of October, we have the commissioning of the USS S-26 SS-131. S-26 was laid by Bethlehem Shipbuilding's Fore River Shipyard of Quincy, Massachusetts. However, tragically, she did not survive into her second war patrol. She was accidentally struck by the submarine chaser USS PC-460 and sank with all but 3 hands on board. Her only survivors are the commanding officer, the executive officer, and the lookout. S-26 remains on eternal patrol. In 1944, the Vallejo-class USS Carbonero SS-337 was commissioned, sponsored by Mrs. S.S. Murray. Carbonero was laid down on December 16, 1943, by the Electric Boat Company in Groton, Connecticut. From New London, she served the Fleet Sonar School in Key West, Florida, and conducted torpedo exercises at Balboa. She participated in 2 war patrols and received numerous awards throughout her career, among them a Vietnam Service Medal, Vietnam Cross of Gallantry, World War II Victory Medal, and an Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal. In 1959, USS Blueback, SS-581, was commissioned, built by Ingalls Shipbuilding of Pascagoula, Mississippi. Blueback was a Barbell-class sub, the last non-nuclear submarine to join the fleet. At the time of her commissioning, Commander Robert H. Gautier was in command. Blueback was one of 3 Barbell-class boats, the first production warships with the teardrop hull originally tested on the USS Albacore. Barbell had a double hull design made up of 1.5-inch thick HY80 steel. That's a high yield strength of 80,000 psi. The ship was 219 feet long, with a 29-foot beam and 29-foot draft, propelled by 3 Fairbanks Morse diesel engines, 2 General Electric motors, and 4 126-cell Guppy batteries, which propelled their one shaft at 14 knots surfaced and 18.5 knots submerged. When the last of these boats was taken out of service, the Navy was left with an entire nuclear fleet. USS Trumpetfish SS-425 was decommissioned and simultaneously struck from the Naval Vessel Register in 1973. She had sailed to Charleston and arrived on the 15th of August to prepare for her decommissioning after a training period with the Patrol Wing 11 in the Jacksonville, Florida area. Trumpetfish was turned over to the Brazilian government and recommissioned as Goiás S-15, named for the Brazilian state, with Commander Eduardo Russo as her first commanding officer. The 16th of October brings us 4 R-class boats. It marks the keel laying of the USS R-1 SS-78, R-2 SS-79, R-4 SS-81, and R-5 SS-82, all in 1973. R-3 wouldn't be laid down until December 11th. All 4 of these ships were laid down and built by the Four Rivers Shipbuilding in Quincy. I know we've talked about R-class subs before, but it's nice to have a bit of a refresher. They were built after the American entrance to World War I and served as coastal and harbor defense boats during their time. These 4 were all designed by Electric Boat and built through the Four Rivers subcontractor. R-class was the first in the fleet to be fitted with 21-inch torpedo tubes, which is a worldwide standard even today. Also, they had deck guns, which is still the coolest thing about anything. Next, we have USS Pacuda SS-382. What a good name. Pacuda. 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 Sounds a bit peculiar, but it has a good sound. Pacuda was commissioned on the 16th of October in 1943 at the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard in Kittery, Maine. As a Baleo class, she also had a deck gun. Originally, her name was to be Obispo, and she was even christened as such, but this was changed on the 24th of September, 1943. In 1991, the USS Sea Devil SSN 664 was decommissioned and struck from the Naval Vessel Register. She was sent to the Ship and Submarine Recycling Program at Puget Sound Naval Shipyard in Bremerton, Washington, on the 1st of March, 1998. Her teardown was completed in 1999. Sea Devil was a Tang or 637 class, second of her name. She operated out of Norfolk, then moved to Charleston, South Carolina, to serve as Submarine Squadron 4 from the mid-1980s until her decommissioning. Groton builds them, Bremerton cuts them apart. Anyway, on to the 17th. The USS Bream, SS-243, a Gato-class diesel-electric sub, first of her name, was launched on this day in 1943. She had been laid down on February 5th by Electric Boat of Groton. Her sponsor was the wife of Bream's prospective commanding officer, Commander Reeford Moon Chappell, who took over on January 24th, 1944, when the boat was commissioned. Next we have USS Runner, SS-476, and a USS Conger, SS-477, 10th-class subs, both launched on this day in 1944. They were sponsored by Mrs. R.H. Bass and Mrs. R.C. Ploesser, respectively. Both boats had been built by Portsmouth Naval Shipyard of Kittery, Maine. 1964 brings the commissioning of the second USS Tenosa, SSN 606, also built in Kittery. Tenosa was a Permit-class submarine, previously Thresher. Permit greatly improved on the skipjack predecessors with advanced sonar, diving depth, and quieting. Extra quieting is always a benefit for a submarine. They have to be as silent as possible to stealthily complete their operations in enemy territory. Permit class came equipped with the S5W reactor, same as their skipjack predecessors, and could move at a speed of 28 knots submerged. That's It's probably an approximation. Real numbers are secret, and I don't care to learn them. Remember, we don't learn Navy secrets here, ever. They also had a bow-mounted sonar sphere with BQQ-2 sonar. Their test depth was approximately 1,300 feet. Even in the 1960s, we could go 1,300 feet below the water. That's incredible. I wonder how deep we can go now. But again, that's not a curiosity I'm willing to research. We don't learn Navy secrets here. So let's just move on. On October 18th, 1907, the USS Cuttlefish, SS-11, was commissioned by Four River Shipyard. B-class boats were only 82 feet long, with a 12.5-foot beam. That's so small. I cannot imagine being in such a tiny space. It held 10 officers and enlisted men. In 1937, the keel was laid by Portsmouth Naval Shipyard for what would be known as both USS Squalus, then USS Sailfish, after a sinking and recommissioning. But that's a story for another time. Squalus was a Sargo-class diesel-electric submarine, 310.5 feet in length, powered by 4 General Motors diesel engines, 4 electric motors, and 2 126-cell Sargo batteries. Though Squalus/Sailfish has been scrapped, her conning tower is on display at the shipyard in Kittery, Maine. The USS von Steuben, SSBN 632, was launched in 1963 by Newport News Shipbuilding and Dry Dock Company in Virginia. Her sponsor was Vera Connell Korth, wife of Secretary of the Navy Fred Korth. Von Steuben was a James Madison class and a member of the 41 for Freedom, the primary nuclear deterrent force throughout the 1980s. As with all BNs, von Steuben had 2 crews, blue and gold. Hers were made up of 13 officers and 130 listed men apiece. 1973 sees the decommissioning of the USS Tusk, SS-426, after a career that began in 1943. Tusk. Tusk was decommissioned at New London, Connecticut, and sold to Taiwan. She was commissioned into the Republic of China's Navy as Haipao, meaning seal. Last day of the week, October 19th. In 1918, the USS-11, SS-72, was commissioned at New York City by Lake Torpedo Boat Company of Bridgeport, Connecticut. She was commissioned too late to join the war, so she joined other boats in Cape May, New Jersey. In 1945, the USS S-32, SS-137, was decommissioned at Nair Island Naval Shipyard in Vallejo, California. Her name was struck from the Naval Vessel Register on the 1st of November, and she was sold for scrap in May 1946 to the Lerner Company of Oakland, California. S-32 had served 8 war patrols and earned many awards, including 5 battle stars, the highest number of battle stars earned by an S-class submarine. Last but not least, we have the USS Philadelphia, a Los Angeles class, launched in 1974 and sponsored by Miss Marian Huntington Scott, wife of Senate Minority Leader Hugh Scott. Philadelphia has a few mottos: Philly delivers, whatever it takes, and to finish strong. Can't really decide which one I like the most. Her home port was Groton, Connecticut. Philadelphia was the first Los Angeles sub to complete a refueling. Fun fact, she was also the setting for the NCIS Season 1 episode Sub Rosa, in which NCIS agents are sent to stop the release of sarin gas into the air conditioning system. I have seen that episode. It's very good. probably not very accurate, but I don't know. It's pretty cool though. Anyway, I think that's just about all for now, folks. It's been a pleasure as always. Take care of yourselves out there, and bye for now.